Welcome to the second episode here from Pattaya, Thailand. If you haven't heard the first episode from here, I think you should stop right now and do that first. Then you'd know why I'm here in Pattaya, or Pattaya as the locals say, and how I got fed up with the party, loud music, and some of the other stuff that this place has to offer.
Lady. Yeah, pussy egg, pussy ping pong. Yes, pussy open the bottle.
Meet Palebo, a digital nomad from Denmark on an epic journey around the world. At the age of 50, he made a bold decision. He sold everything, his house, his car, his furniture, and set out with a quest to visit every single country in the world, documenting everything along the way. This is the Radio Vagabond podcast.
If you'd said to me years ago, what's going to happen to this boy? Drug dealer, on the streets, prostituting themselves, criminals, anything. I would never have believed he'd be able to go to college, university.
In a few seconds, I'll continue my tour and chat with my new friend Derek. But before I do that, let me mention that this episode is brought to you by Hotels25.com. That's a website that helps me find the best deals on hotels around the world. Hotels25.com, best price guaranteed. Compared to Laos, Cambodia and Vietnam, Thailand is a rich country.
People think of Thailand being a rich country. There are people in Pattaya who've said to me, there are no poor people in Pattaya. There are no poor people in Thailand. Thailand's a very rich country, but there are poor people. There are really poor people who come here and are living in slums. You move to the city for a better life. You hope it's going to be a better life, but then you're living in a slum. You're not registered anywhere, so your kids can't go to school, you can't get medical help, you can't get anything. So Daniel is one of our Danish volunteers. I think this is his third or his fourth time coming back here. And he is teaching English. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you today?
I'm fine.
Good morning. Well, this is Daniel.
Hello.
We also bumped into a classroom where a young Danish guy was teaching English.
So students, brother and sister, together. Siblings ภาษาอังกฤษ siblings น้องสาวพี่สาว together siblings แม่พ่อภาษาอังกฤษ parents.
So Daniel, when we bumped into your class, you were teaching English.
Yes.
How old were the students and what level are they?
My students are from the age of 17 to 30, so it's very a different level of English, you know.
But you're not a trained teacher, but you were doing quite well.
Yeah, I'm not a trained teacher, and I take it as an experience because I also learned so much about myself, how you can teach and how you should do it, and you need to be very patient.
How did you end up here?
The first time I ended here was 3 years ago. It was my gap year after school. I decided to explore the world and do a difference. And I was looking at the internet about volunteer work, and then I found this organization, and it sounded really good, and a lot of Danes have been here, and they talk so good about it. And then I'm an air host now, and I'm only working in the summertime, and I have the winter period off. And then I decided, instead of being home partying with my friends and do the normal things, I will do a difference again. That's why I came back.
So you're spending Christmas here?
Yes, exactly, and New Year's Eve and birthday and everything.
Yeah. And when you came here on your first stop, I bet it was not your plan to come back, maybe come back for a visit?
For a visit, yeah, it was not my plan to be a volunteer again, but you never know what the future will bring, so.
And you've been here 4 times?
4 times. This is my second time as a volunteer, and I've been on visits. Yeah.
And not the last time?
Not the last time, no.
When I used to run the clinic at the children's home for street kids, I used to drive up there 5 o'clock every morning and 5 o'clock in the evening, and there'd be 2 boys waiting for me, 5 and 6 years of age, and they wanted my keys. They wanted the keys to open the clinic, and then they'd sit there. One would be telling me like he's so sick, you know, and he's ill, while the other one would be climbing up the shelves to nick anything he could get his hands on. And I named these 2 boys the naughtiest boys in the world, and I said that lovingly because I just love these 2 kids. They were 5 and 6 years of age, and they were always fighting. If there was ever a window smashed, it was one of them. If there was a fight going on, it was one or both of them. If anyone said someone was stealing something, it was them.
What kind of life did they lead?
They led a life. They just fought for everything. Even at dinner times, when they first came to us, at dinner times, at meal times, they just grabbed as much food as they can, even off people's plates, until they realise you don't have to, because there's enough food for you now, and if you're hungry, we'll give you more food, and there'll be food at lunch. You know, all they knew how to do was fight and steal.
Were they living on the streets?
No, they were living with their families separately, with their families in a slum. One of the boys who's still with us, he's one of 6 siblings. He doesn't know where his other 5 brothers and sisters are. I met his dad once. His dad was a drug dealer, been in and out of prison, and he stayed with us. This kid. Like I said, he's still with us, and I've watched him grow. And we can't make up for the family. We can't make up, but we can give them an opportunity to have a better life, maybe or a better future than their parents can afford to give them. So this young lad was one of the naughtiest boys that I thought I'd ever met, but he was a great kid, and he went to school. He then got a scholarship to a private school, one of the best schools in the province. Got a scholarship.
At what age?
At age, I think he was 12, and he left at after grade 9, and now he's in his final year at the Thai Austrian college, studying industrial mechanics, whatever that is. And next year, this is his final year, and in next July or August, he wants to go to university. And like I said, if you'd said to me years ago, what's going to happen to this boy?
He's going to be a drug dealer like his dad.
Drug dealer on the streets, prostituting themselves, criminals, anything. I would never have believed he'd be able to go to college, university. Although he has told me that he wants to go to a different university now, because apparently the girls are prettier at this new university. He's 19, yeah? What can I say? What can I say? He's 19, The only thing we can give our kids is education. The kids here, we give them education.
And values.
And values, yeah. But anyone can give, you can go out now and give a bag of rice to someone, you can give 100 bars, you can give them a pillow to put their head on if they're living on the streets. But unless you educate the kids, we have to do it.
I was wondering how much the religion was in a place like this. It sort of says in the name, the Father Ray Foundation, that it's a Catholic place. But Derek tells me that Father Ray many years ago was criticized for not using this place to convert a lot of Thai kids. They said,
"You have a great opportunity here, Father Ray. You have 200 students. You can convert them all." And his reply was, if I go and say to the students, if you become Catholics, I'll give you 2 years accommodation, 2 years education, all the food you can eat, all the medical help you can eat. I'll even give you sports equipment. You can go to the Olympics if you're good enough, if you become a Catholic. And he said £200 would go up. He said, but they wouldn't be real Catholics. He said, and he said, there are enough bad Catholics in the world. We don't need any more. I'm not religious. I'm an atheist. But my bosses are Catholics. All our kids are Buddhists, Muslims, and we just get on with it. Mm-hmm. And they're not converted. I don't think I would stay here if they were. Mm-hmm. I think there are too many places where you want a bowl of rice, say Jesus loves you.
When we started out and the small kids came, you said they just did their morning prayer.
Yeah, they say a prayer, they promised, they thank their mum, they thank God, any God. It's not a specific God. They thank their mum, they thank the teachers, they thank Father Peter, Father Michael, who are our directors. They thank Father Ray. They were not even thought of when Father Ray was alive, but they thank Father Ray. The students thank Father Ray. The kids at the children's home thank Father Ray. But it's not to it's not to a Christian God. It's not to it's just a God.
Yeah.
In 2004, we opened our drop-in centre for street kids, and at any one time we could have 20, 30, 40 tough street kids, boys and girls. any age from say 11, 12 up to 20 in their 20s. And most of them were runaways, obviously run away from their hometowns, run away from poverty, abuse, neglect. When you see some of the villages up north, there's nothing to do. There is nothing to do. You go to school in the holidays, nothing. So you come to Pattaya. But when you get to Pattaya, you can't work, you've got no ID card, so you're left on the streets, you beg, you steal, you prostitute yourself. Fortunately, I notice less kids on the streets now. There are still some there. Some people will tell you there are thousands of kids running the streets of Pattaya. There aren't. I drive around, I jog every morning along Beach Road. There's not that many kids, but there are other organisations who will pick them up. When the kids come to us, we can't force anyone to stay with us. We have to make it an appealing so that they want to stay with us. And then we have to persuade them to go to school, which is hard, which is very hard. If you're living on the streets, if you're prostituting yourself, if you've got a pimp who's going to give you 500 baht an hour to go and do something with somebody, that's a lot of money for a poor kid. We can give you 50 baht a day to go to school for pocket money. And when you're earning that money, it's difficult to give it up. And of course, you've got teenage daughters. Teenagers know everything. Yeah. So there are several charities like ours who go out and try and get the kids off the streets. But today there are far fewer kids on the streets. The number of street kids is reduced, but the number of poor people is still there. I'll tell you a quick story. We've got three brothers living with us, and they've been with us 10 years. They came here on the 18th of May 2006. Very poor family. Mum and Dad sold the garlands on the side of the traffic lights, and their mother died. So the father, to earn money to pay for him, his 3 sons and his own parents, he took the 3 kids out of school. And they worked. And they met one of our teachers who told them about the Father A Children's Home. And a month or 2 later, the father told the boys they were going on holiday to Pattaya. These kids had never seen the sea, never seen the water. I come to Pattaya was a bit like going to Las Vegas. Yeah, the bright lights, all the fun, it all happens in Pattaya. So they arrived, went to the beach, and then they walked 5 miles to our children's home. And then the father told them, I'm going to leave you here. You're going to live here and you're going to go to school. Now, when you are 10 years of age, 9 and 7, you can't understand that. Your mum's just died. You know?
Are you leaving us?
That's it.
Yeah.
Why? And people in the West say to me,
Don't you want us?
Exactly. People say to me, how can a father do that? He did it because he loves them.
Exactly.
The saddest thing for me, though, and I still get shivers thinking about it, was we had to ask the father to leave, because the longer he stayed, the more upset the kids got. And I can't imagine how he felt walking away, listening to his 3 sons, crying, screaming. Unfortunately, he died not long afterwards. So he never got to see his sons. But today, the 2 elder boys, the elder boy is in the airline management faculty at University of Bangkok. The middle boy is 18 and he is studying health and occupational safety. And the 3rd boy is still in high school. 10 years ago, they were selling flowers on the sides of the roads and their mother had just died. No education. And now they're in university. That's all we can give them. We have volunteers from all over the world. At the moment we've got volunteers, if I can remember now, from England, from France, China, North America, Denmark, Germany, and we've had people from all over the world. And we say, give us 6 months. Give us 6 months and you'll have the most memorable time of your life. All we ask is people come in the end of April, ready for the new school year in May, or the end of October, ready for the 2nd term in November. We give you accommodation, we'll give you 3 meals a day. All you got to do is pay your air flight, get your insurance, get your visa, and you will have the best 6 months of your life. I came as a volunteer for 6 months. I've said 15 and a half years. Yeah. And the only way you can get rid of me now is if I'm in a box, go to the crematorium, because and it is the most rewarding place. You know, people don't walk up to you and say thank you all the time. Some volunteers come here and say nobody says thank you And my answer to that is, look at your students. Your students are saying good morning, your students are passing their exam. You go to the children's home, the kids come running for a hug. That's the thanks you get.
If you're interested in being a volunteer, you can check out the link to their website that I put in the show notes on radiovagabond.com. I'd like to say a huge thanks to Derek, Daniel, and the rest of the wonderful people I met here at the Father Ray Foundation, and I'm so glad that I decided to see more of this place than just the walking street. I might have gotten some of my prejudice about this place confirmed, but I also got to see that there is so much more to this town, and that's some of the great things about traveling, but you have to look for it yourself. You need to take a look beyond what is mentioned in the tourist office.
If you like this podcast, please subscribe in iTunes or the podcast app on your smartphone. You can see pictures, watch videos, and read much more on the radiovagabond.com. Pale can be reached for interviews and public speaking gigs on mail at theradiovagabond.com.
It's time to say goodbye to Pattaya, but I'm staying here in Thailand. I'm heading north to Bangkok and then to Chiang Mai, and I'll be joined by my 20-year-old daughter, Clara, that will come traveling with me for the next 4 months here in Asia, and I cannot wait for that. My name is Palabo, and I gotta keep moving. See ya!